You wanted reasons why I vape? I'll give you 3. 1, 2, 3.
To vape is to choose life. To vape is to be selfless. To vape is to put an ending to a selfish business. Smoking is not only proven to be extremely harmful for your body, but it's also proven to be harmful for those around you. Whether that be your nieces, your nephews, your children, your mother, your father, your grandparents, or even complete strangers, smoking around people is the most selfish thing you could ever do. Not only could it lead to fatal diseases, but it's also setting an example for the young and leading to another generation of smokers. Vaping, although seen otherwise, is actually a system for people to get off of nicotine. You move from cigarettes to e-juice to the vape, and slowly you can move down levels of nicotine and eventually end your nicotine addiction. So it's not only about getting you off of those 4,000 to 7,000 chemicals in just one cigarette, it's also about getting you off of that addiction. But you still may be asking, what is vaping? Vaping is an electronic nicotine delivery system as opposed to smoking, where it's just tobacco and a shit ton of chemicals. When smoking a cigarette, you light the tobacco, causing combustion, which lets out the nicotine, and therefore you can inhale it and it'll go straight into your bloodstream. Because nicotine is a stimulant, it lets out dopamine in your brain, which makes you happy while you're buzzed, but then that goes off and then it leaves you wanting more after that big crash. It's just like sugar, except for the fact that it can kill you. Most of us already know about e-liquid and vaping with that, but what a lot of people don't know is that you can vape herbs like marijuana, which it's essentially the same idea. You want to get that chemical in your brain without having to combust. You want the chemical in your brain within those 6 seconds, but you also don't want to die. The inhalation of any form of smoke causes tar in your lungs and just so many negative effects like carcinogens, which are just cancer-causing cells, and it makes your teeth fall off and yellow. Nobody wants that. Why would you smoke? The idea here is reaching an optimal temperature, which is controlled by your device, to just heat the chemical to a certain point in which it can be released and inhaled, but it won't cause that combustion, which is bad for you. The electronic nicotine delivery system gives you options that you never had. While you can control the temperature, you can choose whether you want to combust it or not, and well, I'm sure you'll make the right choice there. According to the FDA, one of the main bases, propylene glycol in e-liquid, causes red eyes and it irritates your lungs. The problem with that study is that it was made in 2008, where it's no longer relevant, and now propylene glycol is used in only 7% of vape juices, and even at that, vegetable glycerin is the main base at a 90% to a 10% ratio. The same thing happened with another study where diacetyl was found in some vape juices. Diacetyl is usually found in popcorn to make it taste more buttery. This is where the term popcorn lung arose, when there was factory workers working at a popcorn factory and they were inhaling these fumes and they got permanent lung injuries. Again, the problem with the study is it was made in 2010 and news articles blew it up as if it was current. You can no longer even purchase diacetyl to put in the e-liquid, so it's irrelevant. But this study is what has scared so many people away from vaping. We have been told that flavors such as blueberry and raspberry contain this diacetyl flavor, and people to this day still think that they're going to get popcorn lung, so they just stick to the icky sticks instead. With all these awesome flavors comes kids wanting to vape. 6 to 20% of high school students vape, and that's bad. When I surveyed 100 students at Jackson, 87 out of 100 of them said that they had been around vaping more than once in their lifetime. Of those 86, 70 said that they had tried vaping at least one time in their lives. And of those 70, 56 says that they do it on a regular basis. And how about those 13 people that say they haven't been around vaping? Why is that? Is it because they wanted that? 7 of them said, no, actually they've just never been around it, but they would be down to try it. That leaves 6 out of these 100 Jackson High School students wanting nothing to do with vape. 6%. And although the creation of vaping was made with only good intentions to stop people from smoking cigarettes and trying to save lives, but we have seen a problem that is arising within the teenage community. But this shouldn't be a deal breaker. Vaping has only been around for 10 years, since 2007. We're still working out the kinks, and it will get better. Federal bills like the August 8th bill made it so that every website needs age verification. If I wanted to right now, I could not go online and buy a vape. But 2 years ago, I could have. Vape shops have to card, and if you look under 30, you're getting carded no matter what. Vaping is getting stricter to get it away from teens. But these bills are also limiting other people, not just teens. And that's my problem with vaping, the fact that the government isn't handling this correctly. And although I don't have a better idea or a proposition, aren't these people in the government getting paid to do just that? The August 8th bill made it impossible for manufacturers to keep innovating the way that they have been for the past 10 years. The way that vape has been innovating and just becoming new completely is exponential. That's why you can't really make a study on vaping right now, because it's growing so much and the technology is improving by the day that by the time you're done with a study, that vape that you were using is already irrelevant and they'd already came out with a newer, healthier one. Vape manufacturers now have to pay a $1 million application fee for the FDA to look at their new product and approve of it. And that's stopping the improvement of vaping, because not everyone has $1 million. The first vape was made by some dude in his garage. Additionally, the FDA's consideration of manufacturing a vape is ridiculous. People at vape shops can no longer make coils for their customers. Making a coil is just wrapping wire around a screwdriver, then taking off the wire, and boom, you got a coil. It looks just like a spring on a pen. Now, to do that, you need to submit a $1 million application fee? That's ridiculous. The vaping community isn't asking or begging people to help them or join them. The point is deleting cigarettes. So the way you can help out is by joining organizations like Truth or Dare, both companies that strive to end tobacco. I definitely believe that society's idea of vaping is negative, and I think that that comes from the lack of education. People aren't well informed about this. People aren't being told correct information, and that is the problem. The fact of the matter is that yes, vaping is probably not extremely healthy for you. It's probably not good for you, but neither is a can of Coca-Cola and neither is a bag of chips, you know. But we do know the long-term effects of cigarettes, and we know that they're bad, and we know that they could kill you. So the thing here is switching from something that we know can harm you to something that we kind of know is kind of better. Like I've previously said, it's only been 10 years since the first vape came out, and we've been innovating like crazy, so we just have to let time play out. But you really do have to consider the fact that vaping is a 4-ingredient thing as opposed to cigarettes, which is 4 to 7,000 ingredient thing. Not only is that so, but every single ingredient in vape, every one of the 4, is approved by the FDA for consumption. So if you can eat it, then it's probably not that bad to inhale it either. But that's just probably. Nothing's for sure. The only thing that I can tell you for sure is that smoking is dead, and vaping is the future.